It's 2021 NFL mock draft time. We'll dive into it, but first I thought it'd be fun to take a look back at some of my top hits from last year and some of my top misses as well. I got Tua right team. Of course, it was number 1. I had Andrew Thomas and Chase Young into the top 15. I'm claiming victory on Laviska Shenault as well because he did go to the Jags just in round 2. Caleb Chase was a top 20 guy for me before the year even began. And I got Jordan Love in round 1. I got a bunch of other picks right as well in terms of going in the first round. But I also missed plenty. That's the nature of a way too early NFL mock draft. Don't forget, folks, this is really more of a watch list than it is this team's going to pick this player because there's a whole season and free agency still to go on. I got this one wrong, but so did everyone else. No one had Joe Burrow in the first round. I had Bryce Hall as CB1. Then he got hurt. That kind of killed him. Delpin and Epinesa did not help themselves out throughout the season, especially at the combine for Epinesa. Big whiff for me was Kenny Willekes in the first round. I regret that one significantly. And then I also had Isaiah Simmons, Jeffrey Okudah in there, but not in the top 25, at least for Okudah. Oops on that front. Again, reminder, the order is based on the Vegas odds. Please do not blame me for having your team drafting number 1 overall, which in this case is the Jacksonville Jags. If they have the number 1 overall pick, guess what, folks? They're going quarterback. No doubt about it. Trevor Lawrence was the guy after his freshman year. Bit of a step back this year, but he's still awesome. Now, picking number 2 overall is the Washington Redskins. Guess what, folks? If the Redskins are drafting at number 2, I don't think Haskins is it. So in this case, you take Justin Fields. Ironically, the Ohio State quarterback, back-to-back draft picks at quarterback from that school for the Redskins. These two players, I think pretty clearly right now, are the best options at the quarterback spot. Lawrence had a bit of a rough start to 2019, issues, and then kind of settled on as the year went on, kind of regressed again against LSU, forcing too many options there. So Justin Fields, meanwhile, balled out for Ohio State. I mean, there weren't very many mistakes that he made throughout the season. So these two quarterbacks, I'm excited for it. You are setting up for a great who should be number 1. Who's going to be the better quarterback? Who's going to be the better NFL player? So, and of course, who'll be the number 1 overall pick? So we still got a full season to see what happens. But cast your votes right now. Type TL for Trevor Lawrence and JF for Justin Fields. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Heck, I'll probably make this the pinned comment as well in case you get that ad break here. This is going to be the most watched battle in terms of prospects throughout the entire college football season. At number 3, reminder, I do not pick the order. Sorry, Kevin Otto in the comments section. Bengals, though, they get a franchise tackle. Now, maybe you move Jonah to right tackle, or maybe you move Penei Sewell over to right tackle. Either way, had Sewell been draft eligible this year, he would have been the first tackle taken. He's that good. Number 4, the Carolina Panthers couldn't resist getting Joe Brady, his number 1 receiver in Jamar Chase. Yeah, they got DJ Moore, and they brought in Robbie Anderson. Curtis Sam was a free agent. And guys, Jamar Chase is stupid good at football. Look at these numbers. This is insane. Now, they're going to drop with no Joe Burrow and no Joe Brady, but Jamar Chase is an awesome wide receiver prospect. He'd be a great fit for the Panthers, who took 0 offensive players in this year's draft. Number 5, the New York Giants. Let's get them an edge guy, Gregory Rousseau, from the Miami Hurricanes, who's also put up fantastic numbers in really his first year playing for the Canes. Look at that, 19.5 tackles for loss, 15.5 sacks. That's awesome right there. Now, he's not quite the same caliber of athlete other edge rushers have been, but I'm not going to ignore that production at the ACC level. We'll continue with another ACC player. The Detroit Lions get Justin Ross. Guys, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola are both free agents. If they're drafting the top 10, they might have to consider quarterback, but I think it's a bit early beyond the top 2 guys where there is a drop-off. So I'll give them a number 1 option on the outside. Big fan of Justin Ross. All right, the Dolphins here at number 7, Micah Parsons, who's going to be one of my favorite prospects to watch this year. He does so many things so well for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Fantastic linebacker. If there's going to be a defensive for Heisman campaign, it's either going to be A, Derek Stingley, which, by the way, he's not draft eligible, or Micah Parsons, who is a fantastic linebacker prospect. Penn State's still linebacker you in my eyes. He's next. Now, if you want a current rookie jersey, head over to chatsports.com/NFL jersey. That's chatsports.com/NFL jersey. They've got the Dolphins ones. They've got Eagles, Chiefs. They got all the rookies for your favorite prospects, at least the early round guys. Sorry about your 7th round picks. You can pre-order them today at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. And don't worry, I will make sure that link A is in the comment section and B is also in the description of this video as well. All right, the Jets are 8 overall. Patrick Surtain, the cornerback out of Alabama, 2 interceptions last year. I like him. He's going to have another big step forward this year. Has some bloodlines. His dad played in the NFL. I think the Jets could use a number 1 corner. Another corner at number 9, Shaun Wade. I am very intrigued to see how he fares. He played a lot of nickel, almost some nickel safety last year for Ohio State. Now he's going to move outside. He was better than Damon Arnett last year. Keep that in mind. Number 10, the Dolphins have Tua. And I'm going to go with the other Alabama receiver among the big 4. I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle here over Devonta Smith. You'll see him in a little bit, I promise you. I love watching Waddle play. He's got game-breaking speed, the same way that Henry Ruggs did. And as we just saw, Ruggs went before the more productive Jerry Jeudy. Denver Broncos at number 11 here. I'm going to give them Alex Leatherwood, who might have gone round 1 had he turned pro. A left tackle. Still has some traits to work on, but Denver might try to move on from Garrett Bowles. Instead, I give them a new left tackle to start early, help protect Drew Lock. All right, the Raiders are here at number 12. I can already hear Raider fans getting mad at me. Just so we are clear again, draft order based on the Vegas odds. Please don't forget that. Now, Trey Lance is a fascinating prospect out of North Dakota State because he had one heck of a season for NDSU last year. Look at this production, right? Almost 67% completion percentage, 2,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and ran for 1,000 yards as well. If the Raiders are in the top 15 again, guess what, guys? I don't think Derek Carr is the guy, and he wasn't that guy last year. So if the Raiders are in top 15 contention again, despite throwing a bunch of picks at the wide receiver spot this past draft, they probably got to end up going quarterback. So Lance is only a redshirt sophomore. He's a fascinating prospect because there's a big competition jump. But you know what? It worked out pretty well for Carson Wentz after all. So will Derek Carr be the Raiders quarterback in 2021? Some of you guys are already upset with me. Type Y for yes, type N for no. If they're drafting top 12 again, Derek Carr's not the guy. Time to move on. I'm sorry. If they make the playoffs, of course, you're going to keep Derek Carr. But they were top 12 in the Vegas odds, so I'm typing in my N for no. All right, the Falcons here at number 13. Travis Etienne would have been my number 1 back this past year had he gone pro. Decided not to. Todd Gurley only there on a 1-year deal. Boom, got it locked up long-term at the running back spot for Atlanta. Rondell Moore, number 14. He's a blast to watch, man. He carries that Purdue offense at times. Chargers, by the way, got some receivers coming up to as free agents. They still could use, I think, a better number 3 than KJ Hill, maybe? So I'm going to take Rondell Moore here at 14 for LA, who I love watching. The Bears at number 15. I thought about quarterback here, but I'm going to go with Trey Smith, the interior offensive lineman from Tennessee instead. Probably going to be a guard at the NFL. He's immensely talented, one of the highest rated recruits a couple of seasons ago. The biggest issue for him was a blood clotting issue from 2018 that frankly nearly ended his career. But if he's healthy and good to go, he should be, I think, a first-round pick, or at least in the discussion there. Didn't allow a sack last year, and the Bears ignored interior offensive line this past year. I like the fit for Trey Smith at 15 with Chicago. Also, as a reminder, draft order is based on the Las Vegas odds. It's not my fault, guys. Please don't blame me. Number 16, this pick, by the way, from the Los Angeles Rams. That number 10 pick earlier from Miami was also from the Houston Texans. Forgot to mention that one. Caleb Farley, the cornerback out of Virginia Tech. 4 interceptions this past year with 12 breakups in only 10 games. 2 and 7 INTs pass breakups respectively as a freshman. Had he gone pro, he might have, because he would have been eligible, he might have been able to sneak his way into round 1. He's a good corner prospect in Jacksonville. Yeah, if they took C.J. Henderson, they could still get one more corner, a number 2 corner down the road. Now, if you guys love talking about sports and watching sports videos and debating about everything, hit the subscribe button right now. Y'all are already mad at me for mocking the Raiders a quarterback, even though if they finish top 12, they probably have to. Or I should say bottom 12. So if you want to have that type of fun debate and, of course, live Q&As and talk about the 2021 NFL draft and the season and free agency and all that kind of stuff, I want you guys to hit that big red button and subscribe right now. All right, the Browns at 17, Xavier Thomas. He needs a big breakout year or else this one might not look that good for me. But the talent is there. A former highly touted recruit. I'm intrigued by him, but he needs to do more than just the 5 sacks he's had in his first 2 years. Number 18, Marvin Wilson, who could have a Derek Brown-type breakout year for Florida State. Played really well for the Seminoles. I thought he was going to go pro, but he's back for one more year. Number 19, let's give the Patriots a receiver here. Devonta Smith, who doesn't have quite the same game-breaking speed that Henry Ruggs did or Jalen Waddle does, but he was very productive. Like, he's really soft hands, very productive for the Alabama Crimson Tide. He's going to be a potential first-round pick, which is crazy that the Alabama Crimson Tide from last year's roster legitimately could have had 4 first-round receivers. I don't think I've ever seen that before. They were all playing. It's not like one guy was a senior, one guy was a freshman. They were all actively involved. That's pretty bonkers. So pick a Bama receiver for me. Type JW for Jalen Waddle or type DS for Devonta Smith. I suspect that DS will get the most votes here, and I certainly understand that the production is, of course, a big argument there. But I'll tell you what. I love what Waddle brings. He's fast, he's electric, he's dynamic. I think his production with Mac Jones, a quarterback this year, as that speedy vertical guy, is going to take another big step forward this year. So I know I am different than I think the consensus. I will take Jalen Waddle, though, and type in my JW. Back-to-back Bama picks here. Christian Barmore, who didn't play a lot as a redshirt freshman, but he had 6 tackles for loss and 2 sacks and very limited reps, really flashed down the stretch. So this is a potentially bold, silly prediction, but I think Barmore might be the next in a very long line of early Alabama defensive line players drafted. All right, we'll do Samuel Cosmi to the Colts, Creed Humphrey to the Packers, and Paulson Adebo all in a little grouping here because there's one common thread here. These players could have gone pro last year and would have had some first-round buzz. I think all 3 guys made the right call going back to school for another year. Cosmi to get stronger. Creed Humphrey to show a little bit more success in terms of strength and power and, playing with a really good offensive line again. And then Paulson Adebo is also an interesting prospect given what happened to him in Stanford this past year. Now, entering the 2020 season, or 2019 season, I should say, excuse me, my ears are all messed up here. Entering the 2019 season, Paulson Adebo had some first-round buzz on him, fits a lot of what teams want in the cornerback spot, and now has back-to-back years with 4 or more interceptions. The issue was, especially early on in 2019, he wasn't quite as productive beyond interceptions past breakups, but he wasn't as productive in terms of stopping his man, the number 1 job of a corner. UCF's Gabriel Davis early on in the year, man, he roasted him. Now, I think Paulson kind of got back on track as the year went on, but he needs a bounce-back year to kind of get back truly into that round 1 discussion. For Philadelphia, meanwhile, they do need another number 2 corner to pair with Darius Slay long-term. Now, I'm curious how you guys vote here. So I'm going to pay close attention to this. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you want more 2021 NFL draft days? We're doing my 2021 mock draft right now, but they got a long time to go before the 2021 draft really gets here. Now, I don't believe that draft season ever ends. Do you guys agree? We got about 800 people watching live right now, so we'll get some shout-outs. 1 for yes or 2 for no. All right, Seattle number 24 overall. How about a big-bodied receiver in Seth Williams? 6'3", got some size on him too, a pretty solid athlete for his size as well. Folks, guess what? It's another really good wide receiver draft, which at least it should be for 2021. All right, number 25, Pat Freiermuth. I wasn't sure where to go with Buffalo, but imagine pairing Freiermuth and Dawson Knox at tight end. That's a pretty fun 1-2 punch. I'll go back-to-back tight ends here. I like Kyle Pitts. Sorry, Brevin Jordan, you almost made this list too. Pittsburgh, Vance McDonald, Eric Ebron. You can move on from those guys if you want to. Kyle Pitts is that special caliber ad I think does make sense in round one. This year's draft class, not great at tight end. Next year, at least at the top, I'm very intrigued by some of those options at the tight end position. Number 27, the Dallas Cowboys, Javon Holland, the safety, who has played some nickelback at Oregon. Hey, big reason why you take him. 9 interceptions the past 2 years. Also has punt return ability. I like it when my safeties are rangy ball hawks, and that fits the mode for Holland. Maybe this is the year the Dallas Cowboys finally go safety early, of course, referring to 2021, because Xavier Woods, Clinton Dix are both free agents. 4 interceptions this past year for Holland, 4 pass breakups. He's got the range you're looking for in a safety. He also played some nickel corner. I don't know who ends up being safety one, but I think Holland might end up being that guy. Number 28, Najee Harris to the Bucs. I like where Tampa's at, frankly. There are some backs who I think are worthy of round one discussion. I think Harris is that, who also could have gone pro early, just like Travis Etienne, and also just like Chuba Hubbard. I'm going to apologize right now to producer Dylan for not getting Hubbard in round one. But Etienne, Harris, and Hubbard are all fantastic running back prospects. So which one do you like more? Type TE for Travis Etienne, NH for Najee Harris, or CH for Chuba Hubbard. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Number 29, Dylan Moses, who before his injury was tracking towards being a round one pick. He goes back to Alabama. The linebackers fall because I didn't really have a great spot to get him in earlier, but I think Moses will be a round one player. The Saints could use one, and hey, he grew up not that far from New Orleans, so kind of a no-brainer pick for me there with him still on the board. Number 30, Carlos Basham Jr. First off, any edge named Basham is an awesome name. Sorry about Terrell Basham not quite turning out in the end. The Ravens, Matt Judon's only on the franchise tag. Maybe you're looking for another long-term option. I think Basham could end up sneaking into the back end of round one. Number 31, again, order based on the Vegas odds, Walker Little. Now, I am not as high on Little as other people are, and I'm concerned about that knee injury that cost him pretty much all of 2019, but a former 5-star recruit was regarded as a potential first-round pick entering last year, blows out that knee, misses pretty much the entire season. The Niners are in great shape for this year with Trent Williams. How long is he going to be there for? So I thought maybe tackle's an option, and I wanted to get Little into round one as well. If he's there at 31, could be some good value if he's healthy. I do worry at least a little bit about this potentially being the new Trey Adams, talented player, but injuries could end up costing him. And then number 32, Tyler Shelvin out of LSU to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, he's not a Chris Jones replacement. He's got a little bit more power and not as impactful as a pass rusher, but down the stretch for LSU, he did start to show some flashes. Now, he was more of a rotational piece last year, so I'm betting on a big jump from him this upcoming season, but he could be a great run clogger in the NFL. Now, maybe he's more along the lines of A'Shawn Robinson than like a Dontari Poe or Derek Brown, But if Shelvin can get to, 5 sacks, I think that could make a lot of sense in the back end of round one. But I am betting here on some significant jumps forward. So let me know who I left out of my mock draft. There were quite a few guys, I'll detail some here, that I wanted to mention, wanted to bring up as well, but I didn't quite get to them because, there's only 32 spots. And there will be players that I didn't have in here who get into round one. So let me know in the comments section. I do want to shout out Enjoyer, who mentioned Tamorrion Terry. I agree. He could be a surprise, a sneaky round one pick. We'll see how he fares at FSU. But there were a lot of receivers I didn't get to. For example, I'm a big fan of Tylan Wallace, but he's coming off injury. Didn't know where to put him. Rashad Bateman, I think, could be drafted way higher than Tyler Johnson ended up being. Jamie Newman, as Bray mentions, I almost snuck him in. I don't know how he's going to fit for Georgia, but I think he could be your fourth quarterback taken. I like Brevin Jordan a lot. I like Chuba Hubbard. I see Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tanner Morgan. Also good choices there on offense. On defense, again, some interesting players with some tricky names to pronounce. South Carolina has 2 cornerbacks, J.C. Horn, but also Israel Mukwamu, the corner, Hamsat Nasruddin, the safety who's got some great size, kind of built like Derwin James, although I don't think he's quite as good. Elijah Molden, LeBron Ray, Jay Tufele, also options. There were a lot of guys that I did not get in there, so I apologize for that, but I only got 32. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section.